The marble floors gleamed under the morning light streaming in through the tall glass windows of Blackwell Tower. At 56 stories tall, it stood as a symbol of power, ambition, and control. The man who owned it, Nathaniel Blackwell, was known across America as a ruthless billionaire, sharp-witted, fiercely intelligent, and emotionally impenetrable. To the world, Nathaniel had everything: a legacy tech empire, a private jet parked on standby, and boardrooms full of people who obeyed his every command. But behind the flawless suits and sharp headlines, there was something missing. He wouldn't admit it to anyone, not even himself, but the emptiness gnawed at him when the boardroom lights dimmed and the silence of his penthouse returned. That morning was different. A multi-billion-dollar merger with Apex Robotics was about to be signed. It had been months in the making. Lawyers, analysts, and advisors had combed through every clause. The press was waiting. Stock markets were already reacting. Nathaniel's signature was all that remained. Down on the 26th floor, Maria Alvarez mopped the polished tiles outside the executive meeting room. 56 years old, petite, with tired brown eyes and a back slightly bent from decades of cleaning, Maria was invisible to most. She liked it that way. Her job was simple, but her eyes had seen more truth in boardrooms than most executives. She had been there the night Nathaniel's father had died in the hospital while the CEO's son stayed for a midnight acquisition. She had seen rising stars crumble after selling their principles for power. She noticed details, gestures, hesitations, things people forgot to hide in front of just the cleaning lady. That day, she saw Nathaniel pacing. His fingers trembled just slightly before he tucked them behind his back. His eyes darted toward the contract folder, then to the window, then back again. Something in him wasn't settled. Maria could have remained quiet. It wasn't her place. But her instincts had never failed her, and the whisper of something wrong screamed too loud in her chest. As Nathaniel walked out of the boardroom, his assistant handed him the pen. "Mr. Blackwell, they're ready." He nodded and stepped forward. Maria, standing quietly by the corner with her mop and bucket, looked straight at him and said, softly but firmly, "Don't sign that contract." Time froze. Everyone turned. Nathaniel stared at her, stunned. His assistant looked horrified. Maria didn't lower her gaze. "I'm sorry, sir," she said, her voice shaking but sincere. "I know it's not my place. But something's wrong. With them. Apex. I've seen their executives, how they talk when they think no one hears. They're not who they say they are." There was a long silence. Nathaniel, for a moment, just looked at her. No one had spoken to him like that in years, not with defiance, but with concern. He should have laughed, waved her off, or fired her on the spot. Instead, he paused. "What exactly did you hear?" he asked. Maria hesitated, then stepped forward. 6 weeks ago, 2 of their top men were here, late. I was cleaning the restrooms nearby. They said the merger was just a front. That they were going to gut your company's R&D and sell it to your biggest competitor in Asia. They said you were too proud to notice. The room spun for a second. Nathaniel clenched his jaw. "That's a big accusation." "I know," she said, tears forming. "I know I should keep quiet. But I've worked here for 19 years. I've watched your father build this place. He believed in people. He believed in you. I couldn't just watch." Nathaniel turned to his assistant. "Give me everything we have on Apex's dealings from the past 6 months. Right now." What followed was a frantic scramble. Within 3 hours, a hidden clause was discovered, buried under layers of legalese, that would give Apex control of proprietary patents. Just as Maria had warned, the deal was terminated. The world buzzed. Reporters speculated, stocks jittered, and Apex's CEO issued a defensive press release. But inside Blackwell Tower, a quiet sense of reverence began to grow for the woman who had saved the company with a mop in her hand. Nathaniel called Maria into his office 2 days later. He stood as she entered. "You saved us," he said. "I just did what anyone with a heart would do." "No," he said gently. "Most people wouldn't have said a word." He paused, then handed her a sealed envelope. "This is not charity. This is gratitude. A college fund for your grandchildren. And something else. I want you to be a part of this company, not just clean it. I want you to be our eyes and ears. I want a team trained by you. A department built around integrity. Call it human insight." Maria was speechless. She tried to decline. He didn't let her. Months passed. Nathaniel changed. He began walking the halls more, listening more. Employees no longer feared speaking up. The company culture transformed. And every day, on the 26th floor, Maria still mopped the tiles. Not because she had to anymore, but because it reminded her where she came from, what honesty could do, what courage could stop. Nathaniel often joined her now, late at night, quietly watching the skyline. "You know," he once said, "you saved more than just the company." She smiled. "Sometimes the truth just needs a voice." He nodded. And for the first time in years, Nathaniel Blackwell knew he wasn't alone at the top.